Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be working on my 2019 Toyota Tacoma. I've got some ditch lights I want to install, so let's get started. Alright, hopefully I can get the Tacoma in the garage, in the shop. It's not really a garage. I've cleaned a bunch of stuff up and moved some stuff around so I can get it in there, so don't know, but we'll see. Tight squeeze. That should be far enough, I think. So this is my 2019 Tacoma. Daily driver, drive it every day. And I've already got some lights put on it. I changed the low beam headlights to LEDs. They're much brighter. Left the high beam. And the reason why I left the high beam was because I also installed a light bar in the bumper that works off just the high beam headlights. So that's not on unless the high beams are on, and then I have a switch on the inside that I can turn it on and off if I need to. Alright, so here are the lights we're going to be installing. These are an Aux Beam brand cheap set from Amazon. I didn't want to buy an expensive set because I didn't know if I was going to like them or not, so we'll see how they look. I also bought this mounting kit that mounts the lights to the back edge of the hood at the seam, right up next to the windshield. Primarily what these lights are for, some people call them rock lights, but they shine down to the side of your truck whenever you're off-roading. But the reason why I wanted them is because I have a propensity to hit deer. We have a lot of deer in our area. It's a very rural area, and I've hit, last count, I had 9 deer. I've hit 9 deer in my lifetime, so that's one reason why I wanted to put these lights on, and the reason why I have the light bar on the front in the bumper. When I leave in the morning, it's really early and it's always dark, and I need to be able to see what's coming out at me from the side of the road. So here's the plan. I've already got some wiring in here from the light bar, relay, and harness that runs to the light bar and also up to the cab where the switch is that you turn them on and off with. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use another wiring harness to wire this up, but I'm also going to tie into this same relay here so that when the light bar is on, the ditch lights are also on, because if I've got the light bar on, I'm wanting to see where I'm going, what I'm doing, so it just makes sense to have those come on when the light bar is on. So I'm gonna pull this apart, open the fuse box up here to get to the wiring, and then we'll wire those up, wire the wiring harness up, and then I'll put the lights on the hood. There's the wiring inside the fuse box. As you can see here, this is the circuit I added. Have this little add a fuse piece here that plugs into where a fuse would normally be in your fuse box, and then it gives you 2 fuses, one for the circuit you're adding and one for the circuit that you, or for the fuse that you unplugged. So that's where I added the lights at, and those are plugged into the fuse for the high beam headlights. So that's why the that's what makes the light bar and all the extra lights work when only the high beams are on. Okay, so here's what I've got. These are called ADA circuits, and what I've done is I've added a circuit to my ADA circuit, and that will allow me to have one extra line out to trigger the relay when the bright headlights are on, high beams. So I'm going to test that and make sure we got voltage there when I'm supposed to have it. Alright, so I started the truck up, turned the bright lights on. As you can see, the light bar is on. So now I'm going to check my extra ADA circuit here. Got my ground on my battery. Check. This is hard to do and film at the same time. So I'm going to check right there. And I do have 13.6 volts on the wicket. No voltage. So that's going to be my trigger light, or trigger for the relay that turns the ditch lights on. I'm going to turn the headlights off, and then we'll see if we don't, make sure we don't have voltage there. All right, everything's off. Headlights are off. Check this. And we do not have voltage there. So that's going to be the trigger for a relay for the ditch lights. These are the connectors that I like to use. Crimp these on, and then you can have a mini torch that I use, and this is heat shrink on the outside, shrinks that down, seals the wire up. I'm actually probably going to have to use some of that on the wiring harness that goes across the hood, because I don't think the harness is long enough to reach all the way, so I'm going to have to extend that. So, testing this out again. As you can see, I got bright headlights on, light bar on, connected to the wiring harness where the lights would be, and I do not have 12 volts. It's 40 millivolts, so that's basically nothing. So, gotta do a little more testing. So it turns out that I've got the wrong trigger wire. The wires that are supposed to go to the switch inside are black, red, and white. And I assumed that the red wire was the trigger wire for the relay. Or actually the trigger wire, the positive wire that turns on the relay. And actually, I think the white wire is. So we're going to test that. So here we go. This is my wire coming from the fuse box, from the high beam headlight fuse. And I've got my meter hooked to the light side of the wiring harness. I'm going to touch this. You can hear the relay click, and When it does, we get 12 volts at the lights. So we're good there. Now I'm going to mount the lights. Before I do that, I'm going to wire one up and just test everything, make sure everything works. And these lights just have pigtails on them. The wiring harness has connectors on it, and I don't really care for these. They'll get water in them and cause a problem. So I'm going to use these connectors, waterproof automotive connectors, to connect those lights up. So let's get that done. Test this one out and see if it works. Battery up. Turn my headlights on. All right. High beams, light bar, ditch light. Good to go. Let's get them mounted up. Got them mounted. This one needs to be tightened up on the mount. Probably this one does too. It's not too bad. So anyway, I'm out of the waterproof butt splice connectors, so I'm going to have to just use a regular butt connector, but I'll go back and change those after I get some. ditch lights installed. Looks pretty good. I'll take it out tonight after it gets dark and give you a video what they look like in the dark. All right, looks like you can barely see me, but let's take a trip down the road and see how these lights do. Down the road here a little ways. So these are my low beams. And let's flip on the high beams. Oh yeah. Big time light. Sweet. Particularly dark area down through here. This is dim. This is bright. Light shining over in the ditches to the side of the road. So now maybe I can see a deer coming before he gets to me. All right, guys, thanks for watching this video on installing ditch lights on the 2019 Tacoma. And me and Jax both thank you for watching.